I don't know what I was gonna say. I didn't think of what I was gonna say. You know, like the ideas I'd spin around the chair, I point the gun, and then I say something like witty or funny.
Bruh.
But I couldn't think of anything witty or funny to say. So wait, hang on. Computers, programs. Put the code in the bag. Put the codes in the bag. That now. Bang bang. Put the codes in the bag. Programming computers. Bang bang. That was supposed to be funny.
Here we go. Not funny. Different rap.
PeerTube link. PeerTube mirror. So, as I'm sure you know, Structures and Interpretation of Computer Programs is a long fucking book. It's 883 pages to be exact, and it has a lot of chapters. So, YouTube has this feature called chapters, where in the bar it highlights the certain chapters of the video. You can put timestamps in the description, and then it shows the chapters. For some reason, it didn't work on my TAI video, probably because the feature is still in beta. So if that doesn't work, the timestamps are going to be in the description, and I'm also going to pin a comment with all the timestamps for the different parts, so you can skip ahead to certain parts. I'm going to have a timestamp for each chapter, so that because some of it you might already know, or even after you go through the whole video, you might want to only see a specific part, so you can just go to the timestamp with that specific part to revisit it. And if you're watching this on console or on a smart TV where you can't go to the description of the video, well, suck my cock and balls, I guess, man. I don't know, but yeah, there's gonna be timestamps in the description and in the pinned comment, so you can go to certain parts of the books. Yeah. So the book immediately starts off with a quote from John Locke that I think demonstrates the mindset that you'll want to have while approaching not only this book, but computer science in general. Now, I only read this quote the first time I read the book. The other times that I've read the book, I've sort of just skipped past this part because, I've already read it. I'm just trying to reread certain parts of the book. But now, reading it again, I've thought about it more, and I realized just how simple yet complex not only the human mind is, but also abstract thought in general. And the human mind is obviously much more powerful than a computer is, but it still sort of processes things the same way and approaches abstract concepts sort of the same way. And this quote shows just how similar computers and the human mind think. Computers seem like simple machines on the surface, you just boot up Windows and you open your programs, you type stuff in, and it just sort of does what you tell it to. but they're much more complex than you really think about when you use a computer. When you use a computer, each computational process works together a lot like our minds do, our own minds. And I think this quote is not only a brilliant way to introduce someone to the field of computer science, but it also brilliantly sets the mindset that you'll want to have when you're approaching this book. Now, me personally, I like to introduce someone to programming by screeching at them to install an obscure Linux distro, and then going on a really long tirade about why Terry Davis was a misunderstood genius before I get kicked out of my neighbor's son's birthday party at Dave & Buster's. But teach their own. So in the first few paragraphs of chapter 1, the author analogizes computational processes to spells like wizards do, like some real Harry Potter type shit, you know what I'm saying? Harry Potter? Computer science? Little did you know that Harry Potter is actually based off of the computer scientist Alan Turing. That wasn't funny, okay. So, I think those analogies are cool and all, right? They're like really helpful for understanding the concepts. But here in this neighborhood, we say, fuck wizardry. Fuck Harry Potter, he's gay. Harry Potter is gay. Harry Potter is a homosexual. Just like Alan Turing. So, we are returning to monkeys, boys. We are returning to monkey. We are returning to monkey. We are code monkeys. Code monkeys. Let's go. Monkey want use computer, but monkey don't know how computer work. Well, monkey, computers are very complicated, so I don't blame you. But here are some key concepts to get you started. Firstly, computational processes manipulate data. Data is just information stored on the computer. So if monkey have 3 banana and wants to store that information on the computer, it is stored on the computer as data, as a variable. How do you get computer to run computational processes, though? Asks monkey. Well, the computer runs a set of instructions. These set of instructions are called programs, and programs are created by other code monkeys who told the computer what to do in the form of instructions, called code. The code monkeys can't just tell the computers what to do in English, though, as convenient as that would be, of course. The code monkeys learn a language to program with called a programming language. A programming language is a language that the computer understands, and the programmers can write the instructions in to make programs. As with any language you have to learn, though, code monkeys make mistakes when writing the instructions to the computer, and these mistakes are referred to as bugs. Just like how monkey don't want bugs around, the computer doesn't want bugs around either, and it won't run the programs when there's bugs in it. So the code monkey has to do something called debugging the code. Debugging the code is when the code monkey rewrites the code to fix the bugs and make the bugs go away. And that's it. You did it, monkey. You learned all the key concepts for computers, and now you can become a code monkey yourself. So, initially, I was gonna do like this gag, right, where I'm like, wearing the headphones and listening to the Promised Neverland Season 2 ending while bopping my head and like trying to sing along to the song. But I realized that OBS was recording the audio from that, and that I couldn't edit the music volume in Caden Live when it's like actually part of the MP4. Anyway, it just didn't work out. So the author dedicates the rest of the chapter 1 intro by telling us we're going to be using the Lisp programming language for the purposes of this book, and we're going to be using the Scheme dialect specifically. Then he goes on and tells us the history of the Lisp programming language, who created it, etc., etc., and then telling us the reasons it's the best language to learn on despite not being a mainstream language. But I'm gonna assume most of you don't really care about that. If you do, just look at the Wikipedia page. to conserve time, I'm just gonna skip past that. So yeah, let's get on to chapter 1.1, gamers. Hell yeah.
Tightened up, numbed your senses, no fairness is needed for pigs. Laughter circle, playful smiles, guide its roll. Bathed in sorrow like sorrow is thrown upon your flesh.
It's a long fucking noodle, dude. I eat these short noodles. They always get everywhere. Okay. So the chapter starts out by stating that programming languages are more than just a way to type instructions into a computer to get it to do things. Oh, but Lamau Games, earlier you said that the programming languages were just used to tell the computers to do the things, to run the programs.
You lied to me.
Yes, I did say that. And I wasn't lying to you. I was just oversimplifying. I actually oversimplified on every single one of those key concepts in the monkey demonstration thing, so we're gonna elaborate more on that throughout the book. But right now we're focusing on programming languages and the elements of them. So programming languages aren't just a way to like type instructions into a computer, because if that was the case, then we wouldn't have multiple programming languages. We would just have one, because one would be all we need. But the reason there's multiple programming languages is because each language has its own framework that we use to organize our ideas about processes. Like C and JavaScript, obviously they have different frameworks for how you're gonna complete each process. So every language, even though they're very different and have different frameworks for ideas, they all follow three mechanisms: primitive expressions, means of combination, and means of abstraction. Primitive expressions represent the simplest entities the language is concerned with. Means of combination is by which compound elements are built from simpler ones, and means of abstraction by which compound elements can be named and manipulated as units. The two main elements that we deal with in programming are procedures and data. Data is the information that we manipulate, variables, characters, etc., and procedures are the methods we use to manipulate said data. And the rest of the chapter is just going to follow these two methods.